G'day guys, so today we are talking about the Dumbbell Reverse Fly, a fantastic isolating exercise for the upper back, in particular our rear delts, our rhomboids and our traps. I think this is probably the king of the rear delt exercises, purely because both it controls your stability, it removes all sorts of potential cheating factors, so things like swinging, jolting, that type of thing. And because of the stability factor, you're going to feel this right through those that rear delt complex, and is going to be an amazing developer for you. So let's talk about this. First things first, how do we want to set this up? Well, obviously it's off the bench, and so we're going to lay down like so. Now, a lot of people start, say, on their chin on the bench. That's fine, okay, but I actually want to get right up and over the top of this and have my chest right in on the bench itself, because it just allows my arms to move a little freely without coming in and whacking in against the base of the bench. So our setup, well, our legs are pretty much null and void in this particular exercise, because of the fact that well, we don't need to stabilize on them. So what I do with my legs in order to create potentially a little bit more stability, a little bit more rigidness through my back and spine, is that I place my toes just slightly underneath the bench, use my legs to grip the bench and drive my hips into the bench. So I'm gripping and pushing my hips into the bench all at the same time. Okay, so that's creating stability through my hips. From this position, I'm going to want to be right up and over the top. So potentially where my nipple line is going to be maybe the top of the bench, maybe just under, okay? And from here, I'm going to pull my shoulder blades back and down. Now, by doing all of this, my back is very much rigid, which is going to blow up these little muscles. Now, what we need to know about this little muscle complex, or the rear delt muscle complex, is that they're designed to keep stability and structure through the upper portion of our back, okay? They're not really, I mean, the traps are, okay? They're a massive muscle, but our minor muscles, such as the rear delts and the rhomboids, are very much there for structural support and not so much designed to move excessively large amounts of loads. That's what our lats are for, that's what our traps are for, that's what our erector spinos are for. These bigger, stronger muscles are designed for this particular, these particular loads and movement patterns. Our rear delt complex, or that upper portion of our back, are very much designed for structure. So what I want you to start thinking about is, because they're minor muscles and they're designed to hold, not move things, they're still designed to move things, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to movement gains, our major muscles want to do the work. That's what they're there for. So we need to create as much I was going to say rigidness, but that's probably not the right word. We want to be as stiff as possible when we're doing this, so we can really dive into these little minor muscles. Now, I do suggest that when you are doing this exercise, that you start with a lighter weight, pump some volume through those minor muscles. So maybe instead of going a heavy 8, go for 15 at a lighter weight, get some volume in, and then work your way progressively down to that 8, so that you have a really good connection with those minor muscles. Now, there's two ways to do this. Number one is going to hit more of your rhomboids and the midsection of your back. Number two is going to bring your rear delts out alive. And all that is by simply changing your hand position. So in a neutral position like this, where I hold the dumbbells like so, you're going to hit more majority of your your rhomboids and your traps. Don't get me wrong, your rear delt's going to be in the game, but by simply changing your hands to this position, so your thumbs are facing in, you're going to bring out your rear delts like there is no tomorrow. So let's go through firstly our rhomboid one, where we pull our shoulder blades back and down, and now we're in what we call a neutral grip. Okay, so my feet are going to wedge in nice and tight. I'm going to get up a little higher on the bench. I'm going to squeeze my hips in, pull my shoulder blades back and down. I'm ready. Okay, obviously probably best that you pick the weight up first. Okay, and I'm ready. Right, from this position, what I am looking to do is I'm actually looking to create what we call thoracic extension, where I push my chest into the bench. Okay, Where a lot of people can find themselves going a little wrong with this exercise is that they start to arch from here in order to generate some form of momentum, okay? What we want to make sure is that we are pushing our chest down rather than trying to rise up off the bench. So again, shoulder blades are going to go back and down, feet in, hips driving in, coming up and driving my chest forward. 3, 2, 1, forward, 1, 2, 3, okay? That there is how you want to go about this exercise. Now, what we also want to understand is that because we want to keep tension on this particular complex, when we are coming under the bench like so, so anywhere from about this position to here, okay, there is really no tension on those rear delts. So it's important for us to understand that we actually want to finish potentially just outside the line of our shoulder. So if I go through again and I pull my shoulder blades back and down and I start here, from that position there is really not a great amount of tension. Okay, so shoulder blades back and down, out wide, and if I come down and finish here and come back out again here, come back out, all right, that tension is on the entire time, okay, rather than losing it as we swing into the middle and come back out. Now, that there is our rhomboid hand position with our pronated, that's going to target our rear delts a little bit more. Again, shoulder blades are back and down, nice and tight through the hips. Feet are in just under or just wherever they're comfortable, and I'm going to come out and I'm going to drive out with my pinkies. 3, 2, 1. But my chest is still pushing through, and my rear delts are right in the game here. Okay. Hi team, and that there is how you want to go about doing a rear delt fly off a bench.